Just in his second race.
Last driver to win in his second career start, 1960.
That was a day or two ago.
I wasn't born yet.
A lot of races, a lot of miles have been run since then.
Yeah, right. I know. What was it? 1961.
All right, let's see. Tony Stewart. Fastest of the top 3 cars. How about that? Third, fourth, and fifth faster than first and second. But they've got a lot of distance to make up. Tony Stewart, about 2.5 seconds.
Now they're going to run up. These leaders are on a big pack of lap traffic here over the next few laps. Could be Bobby Labonte's opportunity to pounce. Obviously, McMurray's car driving just a little bit better than Labonte's Joe Gibbs machine is, the 18 car. Will the rookie make a mistake in traffic? Can the former champion take advantage? Easily through the first car, the 43 of John Andretti.
And everybody looks like they're laying over, so doesn't look like they'll have too much trouble.
Going by some cars damaged in the big 10 car accident we had at lap 231. Bobby Hamilton and Ward Burton, 55 and 22, involved in that big melee.
Well, that time Labonte gained a quarter of a second by working the traffic a little bit better. Now they've got clean racetrack for the next couple of laps. But Tony Stewart is coming. He's only a second and 3/4 behind the leader, only a second and a half behind the second place car. There comes Tony Stewart.
Well, he is coming.
He's the fastest one on the racetrack right now, isn't he?
Yep.
Stewart in the orange Home Depot car, the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship leader, coming into the race, took over the point lead at Talladega last Sunday. Out in front of the championship for the first time in his career. 6 races to go, including today's. And it doesn't look like the standings, unless something happens in these final miles, are going to take a very big shuffle.
No, Tony's just going to add to his lead.
But most of the guys that are close behind him are running fairly well in the race. Jeff Gordon is 4th, Rusty Wallace is 5th, Jimmy Johnson is 6th. Even Ryan Newman recovered from his early problems to run 8th, so not going to be much of a difference from today on to Martinsville next week if things stay as they are for these final 16 laps.
That's the way Tony would like to see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, nice little wiggle there for the 40 car.
Yeah.
Last time by Tony Stewart, a second and a quarter behind the leader.
NASCAR on NBC with some NASCAR short track racing for you.
Breathe and relax, everything's fine.
The Old Dominion 500 from Martinsville, Virginia, next Sunday, noon Eastern Time. Here's 4th place.
Jeff Gordon goes by Rusty Wallace. Dave, you got a pretty happy man down there, don't you?
Well, not yet, BP, but Chip, regardless of how this turns out, does this help answer the question so many people are asking, why Jamie McMurray?
I hope so, Dave. You know, the guy's out there doing a great job. He did a great job in the Busch Series. He's obviously worthy of a Winston Cup ride.
What was the main thing you saw in him, Chip?
You know, Dave, it's one thing and one thing only. You know, all these guys today are fast, and he's got kid's got great communication skills, but most of all, he's got a good heart.
And that may be what I saw the first time I met Jamie at a racetrack in a Craftsman Truck Series. He was running for a modestly funded team, and he gave that team their best qualifying performance ever, and they said, we've got a kid here. I didn't believe him then. I really believe him now.
Getting closer.
Getting closer.
Both Joe Gibbs cars getting closer and closer to Jamie McMurray.
Bobby Labonte trying to pick up his second win of the season. He won at Martinsville, Virginia back in mid-April. Tony Stewart looking for his 4th victory of the season to go with wins at Atlanta, Richmond, and on the road course at Watkins Glen. Time's running out. It's going to have to be a mistake in traffic for Labonte. I mean, it just looks like McMurray's car is strong enough to hold him off if he doesn't make a mistake in the traffic.
But now he's starting to run across some faster race cars. Mike Wallace, the 14 car in front of him.
Wallace up high, giving the leaders room. How about speeds at the line?
Wow, look at that. That time, McMurray was faster than Bobby Labonte, a great deal faster. Bill?
Benny, I was just thinking, you know, we started today with the Discover Car Countdown to Green talking about cookie cutter tracks, how some tracks look a lot like another. Well, the Atlanta Motor Speedway is very similar to the Lowe's Motor Speedway, and you all know about some of those fantastic finishes we've seen in recent years at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Photo finishes, the victor decided by a matter of inches, and basically what you saw in those races at Atlanta was a guy roping in the leader down the stretch for the photo finish. So sometimes when tracks are similar, you get very similar finishes, and this is certainly setting up for something like that today. Perhaps a photo here in Lowe's.
I'll tell you what, Bill, the news slipped a little bit if that's what Bobby Labonte was doing, or the lasso, because the last couple of laps, McMurray has blistered this racetrack and opened up a little gap on Bobby.
And that's got to help his confidence so much to look in the mirror and see that he's getting away from the 18 car. It was 1/3 of a second. Now it's 2/3 of a second.
Tony Stewart's cavalry charge toward the front has leveled out some. He's sort of evened out at 1.5 seconds behind these top two.
Eight to go, Jamie. 8 to go.
Wow. Wow, this is unbelievable.
Earlier we talked with Jamie McMurray about his ability to get in a winning race car and take it to victory lane. Here's what he told us.
Obviously the team can win a race. They've already won 2 this year, and you know, I can't really, I don't want to sound cocky by saying that we can, but if I didn't think I could, I wouldn't be in this car right now. I mean, if I didn't feel like I was capable of winning races, I wouldn't be a race car driver, and that's a huge part of it, is having that confidence, and I have the confidence in myself, and most definitely have a race team that's capable of winning races.
Boy, oh boy, they're babies anymore, aren't they, Wally?
Picture this.
He's not driving like one.
Here's a 26-year-old kid that nobody's ever heard of in the broad landscape of American sports until a week ago. And now he's about to step up, if he can hold on for another 5 or 6 more laps, and firmly establish himself atop the headlines in the biggest American motorsports series.
I wonder what the headlines are going to be in Joplin, Missouri tomorrow if this kid can pull it off. His hometown.
He's really used his head tonight.
Coming to 5 laps to go. Win, lose, or draw for Bobby Labonte. It's been an outstanding day for a team that has struggled at times during this season. Their footprint to get themselves back established as a title contender in 2003, certainly off in the right direction. For Tony Stewart behind them, the championship going in the direction he wants it to today. There'll be 5 races to go after today. Stewart will have won at 4 of those 5 remaining tracks in his brief Winston Cup career.
All right, 5 to go, and they've got some fast race cars in front of them. Looks like Dale Jarrett, Jerry Nadeau. And they're going to have a battle going on for the 13th, 14th position, so they're not going to want to get out their way as fast as some of these guys are on lap down.
Yeah, they're not just going to lay over like we saw some of those other guys that were wounded in the crash.
Labonte is closed in. He was 2/3 of a second back. It's less than 1/3 of a second now.
And this is going to be it. The 88 is going to be tough to get around.
Uh-oh, Jamie.
So they do.
He went in the corner a little bit too high, which let Labonte gain right on the back bumper.
3 laps to go. Over 100,000 on hand here in Charlotte today, all on their feet, trying to see how the drama of the final laps plays out. Those cars down at the bottom of the racetrack, the blue car and the brown and white car, racing for a position. They can't just get out of the way.
But DJ gives the 40 car the bottom of the racetrack the groove that he needs to bring this thing around to the victory lane.
Through the Jarrett car to the outside of Mike Skinner. 2 laps to go. Nadeau in the 44 is ahead as Labonte tries to close in and steal the win away from the kid. They'll get the white flag. they come back. Will McMurray make one mistake in traffic that costs him the race? Can the 2000 champion pounce and take advantage? 1.5 miles to go. White flag is up at Charlotte. Jamie McMurray trying to pull off the upset.
And Jerry Nadeau was a class act that time. He got out of the way. Let McMurray and Bobby Labonte decide this thing among themselves.
One final set of corners to go. No lap traffic to come into play. Labonte's going to have to make a desperate move here. He rides into the corner deep.
Come on, the race ain't over. Come on, come on.
He'll do it. 26-year-old Jamie McMurray pulls off the victory in just his second NASCAR Winston Cup start. Unbelievable.
I am shocked, almost beyond words, but not quite.
The upset special of the year. Any sport, bar none. The congratulatory rub from the champion, Bobby Labonte. And look at this crew.
You do me a favor, bud. Do the biggest damn burnout you've ever done, but don't jump on the roof, okay? Hello, man.
If you're new to NASCAR, the roof of the car has to be a certain height over the ground. When they take it to post-race technical inspection, if the driver gets up there and jumps on the roof, that's their problem.